Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Hawa Ridhwani, and here on my channel we're here to talk about sustainable and mindful living. Really quickly, I just wanted to say a huge thank you for all the love, support, and kindness that I received for my first video that I posted last Friday. If you haven't seen my first video, I will link it down below. So on my Instagram, I posted about the fact that Louis Vuitton recently had their price increases as of January 2021. And I asked you if you wanted to see a video about my pre-loved luxury collection and how I go about buying or purchasing luxury goods. And it received a lot of interest. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you my pre-loved luxury collection. I'm going to tell you a little bit about why I went about purchasing these items. I'll tell you how much I paid for it in comparison to its current retail prices. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to share with you what are some of the key pieces from Louis Vuitton that I think are still worth the price increases, what I think is worth purchasing new, and what are some of the pieces that I think that you're better off buying secondhand or pre-loved. So the first piece that I'm going to share with you is the mini pochette from the 2016 Transatlantic line, and this is what it looks like. It's got this beautiful print on the front, no print on the back, and it's got this beautiful pink tap here with Louis Vuitton made in France, here written in gold lettering. So this piece, if you were to actually get it with no print, so just in the normal damier bean monogram or the damier Isère print, this actually costs 595 Australian dollars. In January 2021, this actually saw a 22% price increase. So as of last year, this costed 485 Australian dollars, but then it increased to 595 Australian dollars. I actually purchased this piece for $460 in March 2017. Now, the reason why I got this piece was because I knew that I wanted a really functional everyday piece from Louis Vuitton to kind of start my collection. So I actually think that the mini pochette, despite the price increase, is still worth the money, specifically because it is a functional everyday piece that you can use every single day to store your lipsticks, your medicine, your band-aids, and keep it as a bit of a catch-all in your mini and larger bags. So the second piece I'm going to be sharing with you is the Summer 30 monogram bag. I'm not entirely sure if I'm pronouncing this bag correctly, so I'm actually going to put it on the screen for you to see. So this bag is currently retailing for 2,440 Australian dollars. I purchased this bag for 300 Australian dollars in April 2017. This bag is actually considered a vintage piece. It was actually made in March 1990, so it's actually about 30 years old, so it's actually older than me. Now, the reason why I purchased this bag was because I wanted a functional kind of everyday piece that I could wear, something that was casual, that would be able to fit a lot of things in it. So this bag actually has a really long crossbody strap. It's got two giant pouches on either side of it, and it kind of looks like this. When I bought this bag, I knew I wanted a casual crossbody style. It definitely served that purpose when I initially purchased it. The only issue that I have with this bag now is that it's basically two giant pouches belted together, which means that if you are using both sides, this bag can get really bulky. So I'm not sure if I would necessarily recommend this style unless you prefer or don't mind that saddleback style. So it's just personal preference at the end of the day. However, a style that I would recommend to everyone is the Pochette Accessoire, so much so that I actually have it in all three prints. That's how much I love this bag. Now this bag is actually not even a bag, it's actually a small leather good, or SLG as it's commonly known in the luxury community. Now this piece actually currently retails for $1,190. Last year in December, this piece actually costed $950, so it actually saw a 25% price increase. I actually think that these pieces are fantastic because they're really versatile. I actually think that this piece is also fantastic for functionality and style. It can fit your essentials like your phone, your card holder, your keys, your lipstick, your medicine, and a little bit more. You can also use the pochette as a pouch to put in your everyday bag. You can use it as a clutch, or you can use it as a crossbody or mini bag. As I often do, I just attach a crossbody or a chain strap and I'm good to go. So this piece definitely ticks all the boxes for me in terms of functionality, style, and versatility. I don't know if it necessarily justifies the really high price tag that it has now that it has surpassed the $1,000 price tag, but I definitely think that you can get these pieces for a really good deal on the pre-loved market, and I will link some of those down below for you to actually take a look. Oh, and to share the prices that I actually purchased these pieces for, this piece was purchased for 223 Australian dollars, and I purchased this in July 2017. This piece was actually made in October 2003, which makes this piece 18 years old. I purchased the Damier Azur print in June 2019 for 450 Australian dollars. Now this piece was actually made in November 2006, which makes this piece 14 years old. So the final print that I got was the Damier Ebene print, and I got this piece for 550 Australian dollars in June 2019. This piece was actually made in October 2007, which makes this piece the youngest in my Pochette SSY collection, with its age being 13 years old. So the final piece in my pre-loved luxury collection is the Noe GM, and this is what it kind of looks like. It is a giant tote bag with a long shoulder strap. Now this piece currently retails for 2,430 Australian dollars. I purchased this piece for $440 in March 2019. So the reason why I purchased this piece was because at the time I really wanted to buy the Neverfull, but I couldn't afford it just yet. But I knew that I wanted a really large functional piece that I could use to kind of tote my laptop and my textbooks when I go to university. And this bag kind of fit the bill for me. This bag is actually the oldest piece in my collection. It was manufactured in March 1988, which makes this bag 33 years old. It's older than me. It's older than Taylor Swift. This piece is still in really, really good condition. The straps here are a little bit cracked, but that's kind of to be expected considering the age of the bag. But aside from that, the bag itself is still in actually really good condition considering how old it is. Specifically, I purchased this bag because this bag was actually made in the 80s, and people who don't know this, but in the 80s, Louis Vuitton used really thick canvases in comparison to the canvases that they use today, which is really, really thin. So I knew I wanted a piece from the 80s, and I looked around and I finally got this piece on a really good discount, and I was really, really happy with it. And how I kind of found out about this bag is that I kind of looked around for like really big, large tote bags from Louis Vuitton. I found this bag and read the history up on it, and I immediately fell in love. I actually found out that this bag was made specifically to fit 5 champagne bottles, 4 upright and 1 upside down, and I just fell in love with that idea. This bag is absolutely massive, and it fits my 13-inch laptop, my A4 notebooks, and my textbooks as well really easily, and it sits on my shoulder really comfortably as well because of the long and thick strap. So I would definitely recommend this piece. So if you were to get this piece, it would cost you $2,500, but you can definitely get this piece for anywhere between $500 to $800 in a really good condition. I'll actually link some pre-loved options for you down below if you were interested in getting this bag. So out of curiosity, I was quite curious to see how much money I actually spent on my luxury pre-loved collection in comparison to how much I would have paid if I actually paid for these pieces brand new. So in total, for all the 6 pieces that I own, I paid 2,423 Australian dollars. But if I had paid for each of these pieces brand new, especially with the current retail prices, I would have paid $9,230, which means that in total I saved $6,807, which means that I saved 75% of the retail price. And this is a really fun fact that doesn't really matter to anybody but me, but just out of curiosity, I added up all of the ages of my bags together, and I can say that my luxury pre-loved collection amounts to 112 years old. And that makes me really happy for some reason. So to end this video, I'm going to quickly share with you the pieces that I think are still worth buying brand new from Louis Vuitton. And the 2 pieces that I would recommend is the key pouch. So the key pouch is something that I actually use to actually hold my keys, but I've also used it as a wallet or as a bit of a mini catch-all for like my lipsticks and bobby pins, hair ties, that kind of a thing. And the second piece that I would recommend is the mini pochette for that same exact reason. I actually use this piece every single day to kind of hold my lipsticks and my medicine. It goes in all of my mini and my larger bags, and it's the one that I take to work every single day to hold my kind of emergency items. So I think that these pieces are kind of worth buying from Louis Vuitton, even brand new, in light of the recent price increases, because these items are so difficult to find on the pre-loved market, and when you do find them on the pre-loved market, they are marked up so incredibly high that you're better off just purchasing these items brand new. These are really good functional pieces that you would use every single day. I've gotten the cost per wear down for these items to easily less than $1 per day. So if I had to recommend 2 items to get brand new from Louis Vuitton, it would be the mini pochette and the key pouch. So some of the items that I would say you can definitely get away with purchasing secondhand or pre-loved is definitely the pochette accessoire, especially in the older model with the shorter handle. So I'll put some links down below of similar items to this. Secondly, I would also recommend the Noe GM, especially if you can get away with getting a piece like this from the 80s or even the early 90s. The canvas for this is really thick. And it was really, really well made. There are definitely some vintage pieces like this that are still in really good condition. So again, I'll leave some links down below. The third piece that I would recommend is the Neverfull MM. This is definitely an everyday functional piece that you can wear and take to work, for example. This piece I actually purchased brand new, but you can definitely find it pre-loved. And especially if you're getting this without the pochette, you will be able to kind of get it on a really good price. These are really difficult to find pre-loved though, but if I do find some links, I will put them down below. In the future, I will be filming a video on how you can purchase pre-loved luxury goods, but I hope that this video gave you some inspiration that shopping sustainably isn't limited to just shopping from ethical and sustainable brands. Luxury goods, especially pre-loved ones, were made to last, and by purchasing and selecting well, you're not only giving items a second life, but you will hopefully end up with a quality piece that will serve you well for years to come. If you liked this video or you found it helpful, please like and subscribe. Comment down below if you are team pre-loved or team purchasing brand new. Thank you so much for watching my video. Until next time, I hope that you are having a lovely day or night wherever you may be. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Bye.